Tiffany Trump has been keeping it cute and quiet for the longest. But now the former first daughter is finally speaking out, and the details are messy. Rumors have been swirling that her marriage to billionaire heir Michael Boulos wasn't exactly a fairy tale romance, but more of a forced arrangement. So did Tiffany actually have a choice in saying I do, or was she pressured into walking down that aisle? First, you should know that for the longest time, Tiffany kept her relationship with Michael Boulos under wraps, even though high-profile couples are always in the spotlight. But now whispers of family pressure and behind-the-scenes struggles are coming to light. Unlike her siblings who grew up drenched in Trump empire drama, Tiffany had a totally different experience. Born into scandal but raised in sunny California, she spent most of her childhood far away from the flashing cameras and media chaos. Her mother, Marla Maples, made sure she had a more normal life. Well, as normal as it can be when your last name is Trump. But even without constant media attention, the Trump legacy always followed her. She attended elite schools, had a brief pop star moment, interned at Vogue, and later earned her law degree from Georgetown. Still, she never really fit into the whole business mogul thing like her siblings. Even when she backed her dad's 2016 campaign, she kept her appearances limited. That's why her decision to break her silence now is making waves. And let's really talk about Michael Boulos. Back in 2018, Tiffany was out living her best life in Greece when she met Michael, aka a billionaire heir with ties to both Lebanon and Nigeria. And get this, it all went down at Lindsay Lohan's beach club. Sparks flew. And next thing, you know, Tiffany was wrapped up in a whole new world of wealth, influence, and power. Michael's family runs a multi-billion-dollar business empire spanning Africa and the Middle East, and let's just say they don't exactly operate like the Trumps. While Tiffany's dad thrives on controversy, Michael's fam is way more traditional and reserved. Naturally, folks started speculating, was this a genuine love match or something more strategic from the moment Tiffany and Michael got together? People had questions. Was this true love, or did the billionaire heir's jet-set lifestyle play a role? Friends of Tiffany swore her feelings for Michael were real, but let's be honest, dating someone with that level of wealth does come with its perks. But it wasn't just the money Michael had, that mix of charm, sophistication, and warmth that seemed to draw Tiffany in. Still, love in a high-profile world ain't easy, especially with the Trump name attached, with her father's controversial legacy and Michael's family coming from a completely different cultural background. Their romance had a lot to overcome. Now let's talk about the wedding, because this was some movie-level drama. Tiffany and Michael planned a stunning ceremony at Mar-a-Lago in 2022, complete with an 8-tier wedding cake, a designer gown by Elie Saab, and a guest list full of high-profile names. But just days before the big event, Mother Nature had other plans. Hurricane Nicole came barreling toward Florida, putting everything on the verge of cancellation. Staff had to evacuate, travel plans were a mess, and sources say Tiffany was losing it. But by some miracle, Mar-a-Lago survived the storm, and the wedding went on as planned. Tiffany walked down the aisle under a breathtaking floral arch, with her father by her side. It was a picture-perfect moment. But was it all as perfect as it seemed? What's really going on behind the scenes? Now that Tiffany is finally speaking up, people can't help but wonder, what's been happening behind closed doors? Marriage isn't easy, but when you're carrying the Trump name and marrying into another billionaire family, the pressure is on a whole other level. Relationship experts have already clocked some red flags. Where image and reputation are everything, that kind of weight on a marriage is no joke. Michael's family may have power in business, but they've kept a much lower profile compared to the headline-grabbing Trumps. Could this difference in family dynamics be causing tension? And let's not forget, Tiffany has always been the forgotten Trump. Unlike her siblings, she stayed away from the political spotlight, but now with her marriage under scrutiny and whispers of behind-the-scenes struggles, she seems ready to speak her truth. So Tiffany's marriage to Michael Boulos has officially pulled her right back into the Trump family bubble, and let's be real, with Donald Trump as a father, that bubble comes with serious expectations. Now, Tiffany's every move is under a microscope, and the pressure is on. Tiffany has always been the most low-key. Trump, while her siblings were front and center in the Trump business and political empire. She stayed in the background, never fully in, but never completely out. Either now that she's married into another billionaire family, that outsider role is shifting fast, and with that shift, the expectations are going way up. Relationship expert Susan Trombetti notes that in the Trump world, loyalty isn't optional. It's expected. And for someone like Tiffany, who's never really been in the mix like Ivanka, that's a lot to deal with, especially when you're not naturally drawn to all the media attention. But wait, on top of all the Trump family pressure, there's another layer: cultural differences. Tiffany was raised in the U.S. watching her father dominate the media and politics. Michael, on the other hand, grew up in Nigeria, heavily influenced by both his Lebanese heritage and his family's massive business empire. Now, don't get it twisted. Having different backgrounds can absolutely strengthen a relationship, but let's be real, they can also bring some serious challenges. Experts believe Michael's family may have very different expectations when it comes to marriage, family roles, and even public appearances, and when you add that to the Trump family's never-ending public scrutiny, woo, that's a recipe for stress. Let's be honest, when your last name is Trump, a private life is not an option. Tiffany and Michael are now living under constant media surveillance, and folks are just waiting for cracks to show. Trombetti even warned that in a marriage like theirs, even the smallest issues can be blown up into a full-blown scandal. So could Tiffany's. Recent statements be her way of controlling the narrative before the media does. Because one thing is clear, the picture, perfect wedding photos. Yeah, they don't tell the whole story. Being a Trump comes with money, fame, and power. But it also comes with baggage. Tiffany has spent most of her life on the outside of the Trump family drama. Her mom made sure she was raised away from all the chaos. But that also meant she had to work twice as hard to prove her place in the family. Let's not forget when Donald Trump ran for president, her siblings dove into the campaign. Ivanka took on a senior role in the White House. Don Jr. and Eric were managing businesses and rallying for their father, while Tiffany was there more as a symbolic show of family unity than a real player in the game. Oh, and we have to talk about the favoritism. It's no secret that Ivanka has always been Trump's golden child. The public has seen it, the media has talked about it, and Tiffany has lived it. That might explain why she took a different path, going to law school and quietly building her own career. Maybe that was her way of proving herself outside of her father's shadow. Balancing act. Tiffany Trump's marriage to Michael Boulos isn't just about love. It's a full-on clash of two powerful worlds. On one side, you have the ultra-private, family-focused Boulos empire, and on the other, the loud, high-profile, politically charged Trump dynasty. Tiffany is now stuck trying to navigate both, and it's not easy. Her recent comments about her marriage give us a peek into this struggle. She's under pressure to uphold two very different family expectations while figuring out who she is outside of the Trump name. After years of watching her family from the sidelines, she's suddenly back in the spotlight, whether she likes it or not. Michael didn't just grow up wealthy, he was raised in a world of serious power. His family's business, Boulos Enterprises, is a billion-dollar empire operating across Africa and the Middle East. Unlike the Trumps, who built their brand in flashy New York real estate, the Boulos family thrives in international markets, especially Nigeria, where their name carries serious weight. And let's talk about heritage. The Boulos family has deep Lebanese roots, and Michael's father, Masad Boulos, built their empire while staying true to those traditions. Despite his wealth, Masad keeps a low-key profile, very different from the in-your-face Trump style. His wife, Sarah Boulos, is also a respected figure in Nigeria, known for her work in the arts and education. The family name is associated with business integrity, cultural pride, and community involvement, not reality TV scandals and political chaos. Michael's upbringing gave him a completely different perspective from Tiffany, who was raised in America's elite circles with a front-row seat to her father's media firestorms. Now she's adjusting to a family that values discretion over drama, and that's a huge shift. Let's be real. These two families couldn't be more different. The Boulos family avoids the limelight, while the Trumps thrive in it. Donald Trump's political career brought Tiffany into a world of partisanship, controversy, and constant media scrutiny. For Michael, marrying into that chaos has been a wild ride. His family has always kept politics at arm's length, but now that's starting to change. Massad Boulos has some serious connections in the Middle East. He even ran for office in Lebanon back in 2009, and while his focus has always been on business, not politics, his ties to Lebanese power players like politician Salman Franki show just how deeply connected he is. But now, during the 2024 election, Trump and his political followers are trying to tap into those connections. Massad has reportedly been attending private fundraisers and meeting with Arab American leaders to help Trump gain key voter support. Last year, while that might seem like a smart political move, it's also putting the Boulos family in a very uncomfortable position. Backlash is already brewing. Here's the issue. The Boulos family has never been known for political involvement, and now they're suddenly being linked to one of the most polarizing figures in modern politics. This hasn't gone unnoticed, especially in Lebanese and Nigerian circles, where opinions on Trump are mixed to say the least. Trump's past comments about Africa and certain Middle Eastern countries didn't go over well, and now, with Massad seemingly aligning with Trump's views, people are side-eyeing the Boulos family hard. Let's just say a lot of Arab Americans are not here for it. Trump's history with immigration bans and controversial foreign policies still stings, so seeing a prominent Lebanese businessman like Massad back him is giving off a sense of betrayal. Now, Michael Boulos never signed up for this kind of political heat. Michael Boulos didn't. The Boulos family is big money in Nigeria and the Middle East, but they usually keep their business far away from American politics. Well, that all changed when Massad decided to get chummy with Trump. Now, Michael and Tiffany are scrambling to handle the backlash, and it's not just a political problem. This is getting real personal. Tiffany now has to juggle her role as Trump's daughter while also trying to keep the peace with Michael's side of the family, and trust, that's not easy. Their friends say they're still solid as a couple, but all this outside pressure is weighing on them. Michael is now stuck in the Trump orbit whether he likes it or not, and Tiffany's trying to support her man without alienating his family and community. Talk about a tightrope walk. Now, the media has been real shady about their marriage, painting them as too different to last. But here's the gag. They've actually proven people wrong so far. Despite all the noise, they stay locked in with each other. Tiffany loves how grounded Michael is, and he respects her independent streak.